Welcome back, book talk enthusiasts, to another exciting episode of Dragons and Spaceship, the show where we shine a spotlight on all of the sci-fi and fantasy books that are taking the platform by a storm. I'm your host, Brandi, and today we are diving into a world of crime families, martial arts, and the power of Jade with Jade City by Fonda Lee. This book is the first in the Green Bone Saga, a gripping, action-packed fantasy series often described as The Godfather meets Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. If you love intricate world building, high-stakes drama, and morally complex characters, this one's for you. But before we dive into Jade City, let's take a quick look at a trending book in the fantasy world right now. Have you heard of The Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzon? This debut fantasy romance has been making waves, featuring a sweeping enemies-to-lovers story set in a world ravaged by elemental magic. With political intrigue, epic battles, and intense slow-burn romance, The Hurricane Wars is a must-read for fans of the Poppy War and Fourth Wing, so keep an eye out on this one. All right, now let's get into the heart of today's episode, Jade City. This book is an absolute gem in modern fantasy. It is the first book in the Green Bone Saga, which is a trilogy that includes Jade War and Jade Legacy. If you haven't heard of it before, let me set the stage for you. The story takes place in Janloon, a city that feels like a fusion of 1970s Hong Kong and classic gangster films. This city is ruled by Green Bone clans, powerful crime families who control the trade and use of magical jade. In this world, jade isn't just a gemstone. It grants enhanced abilities like strength, speed, and perception, making it a coveted and dangerous resource. There are two main clans fighting for control, the No Peak clan and the Mountain clan. The two families have been long rivals, but tensions are escalating and soon they'll be at war for dominance over Janloon's streets. At the center of it all are the leaders of No Peak, siblings who must navigate the treacherous world of politics, business, and violence while holding on to their honor and their power. So let's do a character breakdown. Kal Lon is the eldest brother and the pillar leader of the No Peak clan. He is calm, diplomatic, and prefers strategy over brute force, but this approach makes him vulnerable in a world ruled by violence. Now we have Kaol Hilo, the middle brother, and the Horn war general of the clan. Hilo is fiery, impulsive, and fiercely protective of his family. His loyalty and warrior mentality make him both a powerful leader and a dangerous liability. Then we have Kaol Shay, the youngest sibling and former diplomat who returns to Janloon after leaving the clan behind. Shay struggles with her identity torn between her personal ambitions and her duty to her family. She's one of the most fascinating characters because of her internal conflict and shifting loyalties. And then we have Andon, a young adopted Kaol family member training to become a Green Bone warrior. Andon is talented, but haunted by his past, and his journey through the trilogy is one of the most emotionally charged arcs. Then next we have It Mada, the ruthless leader of the rival mountain clan. She is cunning, she's strategic, and willing to do whatever it takes to bring No Peak down. She's one of the best antagonists in a modern fantasy. She's calculating and absolutely terrifying. So now let's talk about the magic system. The magic system in Jade City is one of the most unique I've ever read. Jade grants enhanced abilities, but it comes with a price. Only those who are born into the Green Bone families can properly wield it. And even then, the effects can be overwhelming. Prolonged exposure leads to jade addiction, which causes extreme withdrawal symptoms and mental instability. The black market trade of jade leads to corruption, violence, and power struggles, making it one of the most sought-after resources in Janloon. Beyond the action and the gang wherefore, Jade City explores themes of family, loyalty, power, and identity. The Kaol siblings are constantly battling not just their enemies, but also their own personal demons. This book also dives deep into the idea of tradition versus modernity, with the older generation clinging to honor and legacy, while the younger generation questions whether they should break free from these expectations. And let's talk about the morally gray characters, because this book is filled with them. Every character is forced to make impossible choices, and you'll find yourself rooting for them even when they make brutal decisions. That part of what makes Jade City is so compelling. So here's some reasons of why you should read it. If you love stories about crime, complex characters, and high stakes action, this book is perfect for you. The writing is cinematic. You can practically see the neon lit streets of Janloon and feel the tension of every fight scene. Fonda Lee's prose is sharp, immersive, and full of emotional depth, making Jade City one of the most engaging fantasy novels out there. Well, before we go today, let's go over the Dragon's Roar, where we explore the latest news in fantasy and sci-fi. Attention romance and dark fantasy fans, we have a narrator reveal for Rina Kent's upcoming book, Kiss the Villain, releasing on March 20th. This audiobook is going to be a full cast narration in duet style, which means an even more immersive experience for listeners. And here's the best part. Teddy Hamilton and Shane East are making a cameo, reprising their roles from previous books in the series. If you are a fan of Kent's gripping, darkly intense romances, this is definitely an audiobook you won't want to miss. So mark your calendars for March 20th and get ready for an unforgettable listening experience. Next, we have the Sorcerer's Scrolls, where we highlight a forthcoming book that you'll want to add to your TBR. If you love lyrical prose, deep emotional storytelling, and a touch of fairy magic, you won't want to miss this one. We are going to talk about The River Has Roots by Amal El-Mohtar. From the award-winning co-author of This Is How You Lose the Time War, Amal El-Mohtar is bringing us her first solo novel, The River Has Roots. Set in the mystical town of Thistleford on the edge of Faerie, this is the story that follows two inseparable sisters whose bonds transcends even death. As they navigate the blurred boundaries between the mortal world and the supernatural, they uncover long-buried secrets, heart-wrenching choices, and the true power of love and loss. With her signature poetic style, El-Mohtar delivers a beautifully crafted story that blends fantasy with deep emotional resonance. Plus, the book features stunning interior illustrations to bring the magic to life even more. This is one you'll want to add to your TBR, so by the time this episode is out, the book will also be out. Can't wait to read The River Has Roots. Well, that's it for today's episode of Dragons and Spaceships. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into Jade City by Fonda Lee. If you have read it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Did you love the Call family as much as I did? And who was your favorite morally gray character in the series? Let's chat about it. Don't forget to follow us on social media for more quick and engaging book reviews and recommendations. Until next time, happy reading, stay curious, and may your TBR pile never stop growing.